Is it really trying?
Yeah. This is 3375. Bring the beat in. Oh. Without missing 3375. Yeah. Yeah, we in too deep. Legacy, yeah, we in too deep. Yeah, we in too deep. Legacy, yeah, we in too deep.
Welcome to In Too Deep with Mr. 3375, and I have Legacies in the building. Ashley Jefferson, what's going on?
What's going on? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. Congratulations for your new show.
Thank you. Long time coming. Working. So tell the people out there that don't know who you is about a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, I am Ashley Jefferson. I had a show here on Legacy Internet Radio called Joy and Body Radio, and we just talked about women's topics and things that women like to talk about and things that men like to know about women. So we talked about. I had a co-host with me, and he was fantastic. That was Mr. Big Bro Joe. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Big Bro Joe.
Held it down for us. And yeah, we just had like a really great time here. Legacy is such a great family.
Right.
And at this time, I don't do the show, but I still run the website.
Right.
So, when you see updates and things coming, that's from me.
That's a plug.
That's a plug. Yeah, I do build websites just for people that I hold dear to my heart. I build sites for them. The Legacy Internet Radio or Legacy Media Group.
Right.
It's definitely something.
So how did you get involved with Legacy? How did that come about?
Wow, okay, so I actually co-own a beauty line called Joy and Body, and I'm from Washington, D.C., so 2 years ago, I decided to move to Richmond, Virginia because I wanted to just focus only on building my business. And D.C., while I love it, I spoke with my business advisor, and he said, well, actually, you are not going to be able to leave your real job to focus on this if you live in D.C. You got a mortgage, you got a car, you got everything. So I had to move to Richmond. So I got here and I linked up with this another great guy here in Richmond called Stephen Sykes, and he also had a show. And I actually met him at a beauty event.
Right.
He said, well, just come on to Legacy Internet Radio, meet my people there, we can kind of network you a little bit and introduce you to people. And as things would have it, everybody here at Legacy was so amazing. They embraced me, they embraced my business. And then we kind of became a family,
right.
So I got more than just business connections. I got a lot of personal connections as well. So
right.
It was really good.
Let's rewind back before Legacy Internet Radio. We talked a little bit before we got on camera about MTV.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So back in the day,
yes.
I used to be a model, and I was modeling in, I was just a model, but I lived in New York City at the time and going on go-sees and just living that whole, I guess, America's Next Top Model life. So Facebook, how people are knowing about that, I usually don't speak about that too much because that was a little while ago, but Facebook has that blast in the past little feature that they have. So, you wake up in the morning and you see this little thing in the past. And I was like, oh my goodness, 8 years ago, I was doing this runway show on MTV. And so I put that out there because that was a really fun time in my life.
Right.
But after a while, I kind of aged out of the modeling world, and I moved to DC and just started doing things there. I started blogging, and what was interesting is that a lot of the brands that did not want to work with me when I was a model started coming to work with me as a blogger in Washington, D.C. So I built the website because that's kind of what I do. And just started taking pictures of myself and just in different clothes and using different beauty products and talking about stuff that women are interested in. And it's kind of funny because hair companies reached out to me and they said, can you review our hair extensions?
Okay.
And then after that, other brands, bigger brands like L'Oreal and Neutrogena reached out. Just a lot of beauty brands, and they would send me products to review and some payment to do this as well. And that's kind of how I got into the beauty world kind of, I guess, from a different angle. I wasn't just modeling, I was writing about it and doing some research. But the hair extensions and the beauty products really kind of stuck with me, and I really enjoyed that. So fast forward just a couple years after that, I ended up having my own beauty line called Joy and Body, and we do sell, you know, shampoos and conditioners and hairsprays and stuff like that. And we, of course, we also sell hair extensions. And actually, just 2 months ago, my business partner and I went to India to go and see how that whole, how everything is done there. We spent a week there, and ended up partnering with the company there. And now we have our own line of hair extensions that come direct from there.
Wow. Speaking of starting a business and everything, how hard and difficult was it for you to start your own business? We know it all started with vision, but after the vision, what was the process that you went through?
Okay, so one benefit I will say that I had is I do come from a very entrepreneurial family. So my father owns his own business, my mother owns her own law firm, you know, my aunties, a lot of people own their own businesses, and if they're not doing that business full time, it's definitely a legit business that they do, like their side hustle that they do. I do appreciate God, the universe, giving me that to see. So I wasn't so scared to just step out on my own. But I will say that starting a business is not easy, because you have to save up money. You do have to have a vision. You have to save up money that you still want to live. And for somebody such as myself, who was just so devoted into just this one thing, I just wanted my beauty line to take off, and then after that, I just wanted my hair extension line to take off. I mean, it can be very taxing. Right. You do have to sacrifice a lot. Right. But I will say that the rewards are great, and when you're doing something that you really, really love, you don't even really feel like you're working. So I guess normal people, I use that in quotations, work 9 to 5. But if you are an entrepreneur, you are working sun up to sundown. Like, and even when you're sleeping, in your dreams, you're thinking of business plans and who can you talk to. It's just 365 days a year, and that can be difficult for the people who are around you. So again, I thank God I had a support system, my family who kind of understood what I was doing, but still, just because they understand doesn't mean that they can always help you, which is why I couldn't live in DC, so I had to move out my home, have some renters in there, and you know, you have to make some sacrifices to make it work, but thankfully, it's working. Yeah, it's paying off. So
you mentioned your auntie and your mom, you know, they have their own business. Do you think it's more easier now for a young black woman to, like, men take them seriously in the business where back opposed to when they was born? Yes. Well, I guess I can see that in 2 different ways. So back in the day, I do feel like black people kind of stuck together. Now, I wasn't back in the day, so I'm going from what people are telling me, you know, and the research that I've done. You know, a lot of black people stuck together, but they were kind of doing that because of segregation. Like, we couldn't even go to the other places. But then when I guess segregation kind of let up a little bit, blacks were trying to kind of get into the white communities and do things like that, and so we didn't really support each other that much anymore. But fast forward to today, and I mean, just speaking of right now in 2017 with all that's going on, I do see a lot of black people supporting each other again. And we have websites like Black Wall Street and so many groups on Facebook that are like promoting black-owned businesses and things like that. I've just found a black, are you familiar with cars.com or autotrader.com? I just found a black company that does that. They find cars for you. Had no idea that this even existed before, and now it's black owned. It's just pushing us more together. Same with black business. Beauty businesses and beauty stores. I mean, I'm finding a lot more companies now, or a lot more women and men that are opening their own beauty supply stores, which is really good. Now, I actually don't have my own store right now. I did,
a couple of months ago, but that's one of the perils of, I'm sorry, a couple of years ago, but that's one of the perils of owning a business. My store unfortunately didn't last, but I definitely will try again. And interestingly enough, I'm actually making more money now that I've closed my store and just started selling online and selling my products in other hair salons. But I took the advice that was given to me by another Black person that said, you know, you are struggling right now, the store is bleeding you dry. Close it down and just focus on the internet, and I've done that, and that's been great. So I am seeing us kind of stick together more now, and I guess because of the climate, our political climate is making us do that. But one thing I do want to say to anybody who wants to start a business, we cannot fall back on our skin tone. Starting a business, regardless of what color you are, is difficult. So being Black is not going to be the reason why your business fails. And I think anybody who says my business isn't doing well because I'm Black or because I'm a woman just isn't a business person. You're not an entrepreneur. You didn't do the proper research, because there are ways to get your business up and running, regardless of what color you are. And actually being Black, if you look to a lot of grants and things, being Black is a plus, being a woman is a plus, being underprivileged is a plus, and you can do the work to get the grants and to get the money to help you do your business. So starting a business in and of itself can be difficult.
Speaking of grants and financial, I know you did a show, you and Big Bro, on the financial parts of it. Where can people go to, you know, what do they have to do to get those type of finances and grants to start their business? Because it's out there. A lot of people just don't know.
So the first thing I would say is go to the Small Business Association and find out your local chapter, and then you will go to your local chapter, and that's usually called SCORE, S-C-O-R-E. I don't know what the acronym stands for, but I do know that anybody who goes to SCORE is able to meet up with a mentor, and that mentor you create your schedule, but usually it's like once a month, and they'll check in on your business, and they really can kind of dissect your business and see where you're going wrong. For me at the time, it was my marketing. My marketing was terrible. Everything else was right, but but my mentor was able to find out where I was hurting, you know, as far as my business was concerned, was able to help me. Now there is a lot of money out there. There's money out there for everybody, but there is a lot of money out there, and you really have to kind of take your mind back to high school. You're gonna have to get a grant. You have to write the paperwork for the grants. If you can't do it, then you can get a grant writer, which is good also. But a lot of these grants are just sitting there. There's money that's just sitting there that nobody tries to get, and I don't know what it is in the psyche of Americans, you know. And I hate to get too political, but there are a lot of people who are new to this country who go right to those grants and get that money, but excuse me, but the people who have been here for, you know, all their lives and for generations, they don't really go to get that money, and that doesn't matter what race you are. It's just we're just not doing that. So I would encourage people to do that. They also have there are also loans that are available to people. Now I know loans are not a great thing to pull out, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. But they have loans that are safer than others, and one in particular is a Kiva loan, K-I-V-A. Those are great little micro loans that you can get for $5,000 or even $500, but you don't have to pay them back so soon. You can pay $5,000 over 6-7 years. So it can give you a great opportunity to kind of get on your feet, because sometimes you just need that one extra dollar to kind of help you out. I would encourage people to do the paperwork to become a real business. Open up your LLC, you know, or your corporation. Right now I'm an S corp, but at one point I was at LLC. You know, just do the work to be legitimate, and you know,
and do your research first.
Do your research, yeah. Do your research.
And I know you're busy. You know, I know you travel a lot, all over the world, and all of that. So how do you balance all of that with your life, your social life, your love life, and
Trying to figure that out.
Man, like, how you juggle? Like, for me, I haven't figured it out yet. Like, it's like one of the most difficult things I have to do. But how do you juggle all of that?
Oh gosh, thank God, thank the universe, you know, just trying to stay balanced and trying to, okay, it's hard, it's tough, but I have to always be real and always be authentic and saying, if, you know, with my friends saying, I can't go out tonight, I have to focus on this, or I can't enjoy this experience because I have to do that, you know, and I'm very open and honest about that, and luckily they do understand. Now some new people that I meet, you know, they, you know, I might not be able to kind of foster certain relationships like I would if I just had a 9 to 5. You know, a lot of my friends go out to happy hours and stuff, and some I can make, some I just can't. Like I have to work. But fortunately, with my love life, I am in love, and I do have someone who understands, and he actually runs his own business, so we can kind of flow together and we can kind of move together. We do travel a lot, and that's a blessing, but a lot of people don't have that. So I know where my blessings are. I do know where my blessings are, and I'm so grateful for them. But I think the tip to anybody else is just trying to find that balance, is just to always be legit and just say, listen, I don't have the time right now, this is who I am, this is what I'm trying to do. Social media is my best friend, because I can keep in contact with people that if it wasn't there, I wouldn't see for years, you know, because I might miss a birthday party or miss a this or that, but I can still kind of tap in online. And so I do thank God for social media.
So do you think with all that's going on in the world now, with the 45th and everything, is it beneficial to start a business now? You know, because as being black, you think, you know, only black people gonna come to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you know, you trying to get some white people coming in. Or, you know, just try to be versatile. But with all this stuff that's going on, all this tension that's going on.
You know what? One thing I will say about what's going on, what I have seen, is people of color really coming together. I love, but something I also love seeing is white people joining us in the fight. And I think it's so easy to point at every white person and say, you're a racist and you only have this because of white privilege. And I'm not here to say, I'm not going to defend anything. You know, there are racists out there. White privilege is real. But there is a large group of white people who really care and who aren't racist, you know, and who yes, they do exercise or partake in white privilege, but it isn't their fault. And I have had, if I can say this well enough, I have had white privilege extended to me, like somebody who knew that I wasn't getting the, you know, I was getting the short end of the stick because I was black, and they said, okay, well hold on, that's not right, and they actually, you know, made a note of that. I feel like that is happening more often now than it was before, because people just weren't aware before, but now they are getting aware of what's going wrong and what is wrong in this country. But we have to remember that, you know, the Quakers were helping us during the Underground Railroad. Like, not all white people are bad people. You know, the Quakers were helping us out, and there are people who consistently help us out. The abolitionists were fighting for us. They were white. So we just, you know, we can't just hate all white people. When it comes to business, again, sometimes businesses actually bring cultures together, you know, because the one race that everybody got is that green one, that money race, okay? That's the real deal. It all spends the same. It all spends the same. So that can bring people together. And I would always say, starting a business or running a business, especially if you have a small or medium-sized business, race is not going to be your number one hindrance. That really isn't. And if a white person, and they have, comes to me and says, I want hair extensions, or I want your volumizing shampoo, I will certainly give it to them. You know, I'm not gonna not give it to them, or a Latino or whoever. I have white friends who I love, and family members too, who I love, and I'm not gonna not go to their house or not invite them to my house because of what's going on right now. But I say all that to say I am very proud African American woman. Actually, I like to say Black American woman. I am very proud to be who I am, and I will never deny that I'm a Black person, and I'm not trying to be white or anything, you know, not at all. But I just can't say that, you know, oh, because you're white, I don't want to hang out with you, or hanging with you kind of helps dissolve my Blackness. I can't get down with that.
Right. So what does the future hold for Ashley, other than my vision of seeing you on Black Girls Rock?
I would love to be on Black Girls Rock. Oh my goodness, I gotta figure out how to get there. But I would love to be on Black Girls Rock. You know, the future does hold a family. You know, I've been talking about that with, you know, with my love, you know. And so we'll see what is up then. But because I'm running a business, I didn't feel like I was in a position to have children before.
Right.
But I feel like that is starting to come about, and you know, he and I are, you know, looking at places where we can live, because fortunately I can run this hair business from anywhere.
Right.
So just kind of looking around places we can live and kind of settle down and take that next step. So that's really important. And as far as the business is concerned, we are, Joy and Body is getting to a point where I can step back a little bit and don't be so much hands-on. And I think that that's a really great sweet spot that every business person needs to
step back and okay, I have people to handle this. Just step back a little bit and enjoy life, man.
Yes, honey, so you understand, like, we're finally getting to that point where I can kind of step back and say, okay, if I take a day off, it won't fall apart.
Right.
So now that that's coming about, I will be able to relax and kind of, you know, just take life as it is.
Exactly. So how can they get in contact with you? How can they follow you? Social media?
Yes. So you can follow me. Well, first visit the website joyandbody.com, and then you can reach us out on all our social media handles, which is at Joy and Body, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the like. So you can definitely reach out that way.
Great. It's been a pleasure having my sister from another mother, another one.
Yes, and thank you for having me.
My pleasure for having you, and come back and we're gonna rock this show out.
Thank you. I'll be back.
At this time, I always give a chance for my guests to give shout-outs. Who you like to give shout-outs to?
I just want to give a shout-out to all of my family, my friends, my support team, my business team. Thank you all so much. I really love you. I couldn't do any of this without you all. And God.
Great. Thanks again for coming through. Appreciate you. Come back at this time, like we always do. We profile a missing child, and come back and see us once again at In Too Deep with Mr. 3375, Legacy Internet Radio, Legacy TV, where independence is the key to building your legacy.
Yeah. This is 3375.